Good morning to everyone. Today I am going to talk about switching techniques in computer networks. So, switching techniques means in a large network there are multiple paths which links a sender and a receiver. So, through the path the information will be passed from a sender to receiver. So, that communication channels are used for transfer the digital data. So, here there are three switching techniques are there. One is a circuit switching, message switching, and third one is a packet switching. So, the first technique is a circuit switching. So, it is a technique that directly connects the sender and receiver in an unbroken path like a telephone system. So, in a telephone system first the caller will dial a number, then the connection will be created between a sender and receiver, then they are transferring the messages between them. So, likewise the circuit switching will work. So, in this type of switching technique, once the connection is established, that connection will be the dedicated path between a sender and a receiver. So, no other devices in between the sender and receiver cannot be able to access the path. So, this is a dedicated path. So, dedicated path means the whole path will be dedicated only for a sender and receiver. So, the routing decisions must be made when a circuit is first established, but there is no decision made after that time. So, once a decision is made, once a call is made means after that the route will not be changed. So, the circuit switching in a network operates almost the same way as a telephone system. So, a complete end-to-end path must exist before a communication can take place. So, the computer initiating the data transfer must ask for a connection to the destination. So, once a connection has been initiated and completed to the destination device, so the device must acknowledge that it is ready and willing to carry on a transfer. So, the advantages of circuit switching is the communication channel is a dedicated. Once it is established, it will not be shared by any other devices. So, the disadvantage of the circuit switching is the first one is a possible long wait to establish a connection. So, during which there is no transmission of data in a particular channel. So, if a channel is dedicated, the sender and receiver only use the data, use the path. So, the other devices cannot able to access the link to transfer the data. So, this is a main disadvantage. And then second one is more expensive than the other switching devices because of the dedicated path. And then third one is the inefficient use of communication channel, because the channel is not used when a connected systems are not using it. That is, if a sender and receiver are not sending a packet, but the path will be dedicated only for the two devices. So, the path will be wasted. So, this is a third disadvantage of circuit switching. So, next one is next technique is a message switching. So, in a message switching there is no need to establish a dedicated path between a sender and receiver. So, here when a station sends a message, the destination address is appended to that message. So, in a message itself the receiver address will be appended. So, the message is then transmitted through the network in its entirely from node to node. So, each node receives the entire message, stores its entirely on a disk and then transmits the message to the next node like a store and forward. So, intermediate node will store the message and then it forward that message to the next node. So, this type of network is called a store and forward network. So, in a message switching there is no need for a dedicated path, but the intermediate node that store the message, afterwards it will forward the message to the next node. So, this concept is called as a store and forward network. So, here we can see from A to H, A is a sender and H is a receiver means. So, in between there are number of intermediate nodes. So, here the message 2 and message 1, the path will be in a red and a blue color. So, in that each intermediate node will store that message and then it will forward that message to the next node. So, the message switching node is typically a general purpose computers. So, the device needs a sufficient storage, that is a secondary storage. So, each node which has some capacity, that is a storing capacity for to store the message of incoming messages, which could be a long. And then a time delay is introduced in this type of switching. So due to store and forward plus the time is required to find the next node for a transmission path. So these are the main thing. So in a message switching, the first thing is it need a secondary storage, and second one is a time delay. So the time delay for selecting the next intermediate node and then access the message also. So the advantages of message switching. So first one is a channel efficiency. When compared with circuit switching, there is a dedicated path, but in a message switching there is no need for a dedicated path. And then traffic congestions can be reduced because a message may be temporarily stored in a route. And third one is a message priorities can be established due to store and forward technique. And last one is message broadcasting. So it can be achieved by the use of a broadcast address appended in a message. So each message, that is each node forwarding the message will append the address of the receiver node. So these are the advantages of message switching. So the disadvantages of a message switching is it is not compatible with interactive applications. And then next one is the store and forward devices are expensive because they must have a large disk to hold long messages. So these are the main two disadvantage. The first one is not compatible, and second one is it need a more memory capacity. The third technique is a packet switching. So packet switching can be seen as a solution that tries to combine the advantages of message and circuit switching, and it minimize the disadvantages which are faced in a circuit and message switching. So there are two methods of packet switching here. One is a datagram approach and second one is a virtual circuit approach. So in packet switching, so both packet switching methods, a message is broken into small parts. That is both switching method means virtual circuit and a datagram approach. These are the two methods which are present in a packet switching. So in the both methods, a message is broken into small parts. So that part is called as a packet. So each packet is tagged with appropriate source and destination address, that is sender and receiver address will be added in that each packet. So since the packet has strictly defined a maximum length, so maximum length of that packet should be strictly defined, and they can be stored in a main memory instead of a disk. So therefore the access delay and cost are minimized. So here the disadvantages which is faced in a message switching will be overcome by this packet switching, because here we are using the disk instead of a secondary storage. Here also we are storing the message in a disk, not in a secondary storage. And then the maximum length of that message will also be defined. Next, also the transmission speed between nodes are optimized. And next one is with current technology, packets are generally accepted onto network on a first come first served. So if the network becomes overloaded, packets are delayed or discarded like a TTL. So here the packet size will be vary based upon the technology. So the first one is if the packet size is 180 bits means it will be designed used for communication and a business application. For a 180 bit, from 180 bits we can use that packet for a communication and business application, and for 1024 or 2048 bits means it will be mainly used for a public data networking, and then 53 bytes it is mainly used for a packet switches in ATM. So the packet size will vary based upon the application where we are going to use a packet. So if it is a business or a communication means the size of the packet will be 180. If it is used for a public data networking means the size will be from 1024 to 2048 bit. If it is used for any packet switches like ATM switching means it should be in a 53 bytes. So in a packet switching, the first analog signal, like in a telephone system or in a mobile network, the analog signal from your phone that is converted into digital data stream. So that digital bits is then divided into clusters. So here each cluster is called as a packet. So the first we are sending the analog signal, that analog signal is converted into digital. So the digital bits that will be clustered, each cluster is called as a packet. So each packet has its beginning, that digital addresses a long number which it is being sent. So the system blasts out all tiny packets as fastest, and then they travel across the nations in a digital backbone system to their destination. So the telephone, or rather the telephone system of the person you are calling. So in this way, if you are make a call in a phone or in a telephone system, our analog will be converted into digital, and then the digital will be converted into packet. So in that packet, the numbers is also appended. If it across the boundaries of the nation, it will append the backbone of that address. And next, they do not necessarily travel together. Each packet will not travel together, and they do not travel sequentially also. So they do not even all travel via the same route. So the packets are created. Each packet will select its own path. So not all packet are grouped together and they are not traveling in the same route. Each one will select a different route. So but eventually they arrive at the right point, that the digital addresses added to in front of each string, that is in a destination address what we are giving. So in the destination address, the bunch of packets will be received. In the destination, that is a receiver itself only rearrange the packets because it will be in unordered. So the datagram packet switching is similar to the message switching, in that each packet is self-contained unit with a complete addressing information attached. So in a datagram means each packet which has the address of the destination and then a source address also. So the packet to take a variety of possible path through the network. So each packet will select its own path. So the packet each with the same destination address do not follow the same route. So if the receiver is only one, but there is a number of 5 packets are going to received by the receiver, means each 5 packet will travel in a different route, not in a same route. So reordering is done at a destination point. It is possible for a packet to be destroyed if the intermediate node is in a dead node, or if there is any fault occurred in an intermediate node, the number of packet received by the node is also be crushed. So next, in a virtual circuit approach, the first one we saw is a datagram approach. So in a datagram approach, each packet is having a sender and receiver address that will not follow the same route whatever the other packet follows. But in a virtual circuit, the pre-planned route is established before any data packets are sent. Before sending a packet, first it creates a route between a sender and a receiver. So based on that route only, all the packets will be forwarded. So a logical connection is established when a sender send a call request packet to the receiver. So in the initial stage, if a sender send a call request packet to the receiver, the connection will be made. So the receiver send back an acknowledgement packet. So the call is accepted packet to the sender if the receiver agrees on conversational parameters, like a three-way handshake protocol. So the conversational parameters can be a maximum packet sizes, path to be taken, and other variables necessary to establish and maintain the conversation. So virtual circuit imply acknowledgement, flow control and error control. So virtual circuit is reliable when compared with datagram. So if you are using a virtual circuit approach, means a logical connection is created between a sender and receiver. Using that same connection, all the packets will be transferred from sender to receiver. So that's why it is a very reliable, and it have a flow control, error control also. So in a virtual circuit, the route between a station does not mean that this is a dedicated path as in a circuit switching. So if a logical connection is established between a sender and receiver, means that path will not be dedicated like a circuit switching. So a packet is still buffered at each node and queued for output over a line. So the difference between the virtual circuit and datagram approaches is, when a virtual circuit, the node does not need to make a routing decision for each packet. So in a virtual circuit means, if a sender call request means, in that time itself the connection will be established. So intermediate node will not create any path. So next, it is made only once for all packet using that virtual circuit. For example, if using a virtual circuit, we are going to transfer a 10 packets, means that all 10 packets will follow the same route what the sender create that route. So that is a virtual circuit approach. So the virtual circuit offers or guarantees a packet sent arrive in order sent, whatever the order we sent, that will be received in a receiver. So the receiver no need to arrange the packets. So with no duplicates or omissions in that packets, and with no errors. So the advantages of packet switching. So it is a cost effective, do not need a massive amount of secondary storage like a message switching, and then a packet switching offers improved delay characteristics, because there is no long messages in the queue, because here we are fixed that maximum size of the packet based upon the applications. And packets can be rerouted if there is any problem such as a busy or a disabled links. So the advantages of packet switching is that many network user can share the same channel at the same time. So maximize the link efficiency also. So the disadvantages of packet switching. The protocols for packet switching is typically more complex when compared with others. It can add some initial cost in implementation. So if a packet is lost, the sender needs to retransmit the data. So not if a packet is lost in a message switching means, using the intermediate node itself we can recover the packet, because the intermediate node will store the message in a message switching, but in a packet switching the sender only retransmit the data. So another disadvantage is that packet switcher system still cannot deliver the same quality as a dedicated circuits like a circuit switching. So circuit switching using a dedicated line, when compared with the circuit switching, the packet delivery will not be that much applicable in this. And then it is a so in application requiring a very little delay like a voice conversation or a moving messages. So if you are sending messages or in a voice conversion, it will take some time delay. So these are the main three switching techniques which we are see in this chapter. So the first one is circuit switching, and second one is message switching, and third one is packet switching. Thank you.